without having taken home all 3 points here tonight. But they do dominate the historical head-to-head. You see the win probability there favours Perth, but historically Brisbane 27 wins to Perth's 17 with 11 draws over the course of their A-League men's history. So the Perth Glory make 2 changes to their starting 11. Tas Mudakudis and Jalen Pearman come into the starting 11. That moves Patrick Wood to the bench, while young Socceroo Zach Lizalaiski joins the substitutes. Out tonight are Risdon Hamzawi and Majek Adunmi. Brisbane Roar make 3 changes to their 11. Harrington, Hingett and Halloran. 3 H's into the starters for the Brisbane Roar, moving Amanatitis and Burke Gilroy to the bench. Florin Berengay rejoins the subs, while Ludwig, Zimmerino and Darrington drop out of Ruben Zatkovic's matchday squad. So both teams going through their final preparations as David Strelic watches on. He was able to win away at Suncorp Stadium 1-0 earlier in the season. His breakthrough result has since beaten Auckland at home. Those are the only 2 wins Perth Glory have to show so far this season, a campaign where they've scored just 13 goals and conceded 45. Ruben Zatkovic, 1 win this campaign away at Sydney FC, 5 draws, and a considerably better goal difference, -17 to -32, mean that Brisbane do win tonight. They will at least move into 12th place at Perth Glory's expense. Tonight's referee is Casey Rybelt. Assistants are Arvin Shanmuganathan and Lawson Rimmer, and the 4th official is Shane Skinner. And in the VAR booth, should we require them, await Tim Danaskos and Kearney Robinson. Great to see Perth Soccer Club involved in the coin toss tonight. There are the 2 captains, Adam Taggart and Jay O'Shea. So that is a look at the scene at HBF Park. Perth have been able to create an atmosphere and an intimidating one at times this season, but not always. Adam Taggart, he'll be back in the Socceroos. It's been a great weekend for players recalled to the Socceroos from the Isuzu UTE A-League. Taggart enjoys playing against his former employers Brisbane. 7 goals in 12 appearances, 4 of them for Perth and 3 for Newcastle. There's Ben Halloran hoping that he can spearhead the Brisbane Roar to something special tonight. 2 goals this season and 3 career against the Glory, all of them wearing the colours of Adelaide United, though. He'll be hoping to find the back of the net for the first time in a Brisbane Roar shirt against Perth, and 4th time over the course of his career. Tas Mudakudis, one of the inclusions to the 11, and he'll be standing next to veteran centre-back Tommy Merchula tonight. Nikola Mileusnec spent some time at the Roar himself. And it's Perth Glory who take kickoff, attacking the left of your screens. As the round rolls on, a very high bar has been set, 5-4 on Friday, 4-2 on Saturday evening. And Perth Glory looking to get the scoring started right from kickoff here tonight. As I welcome Phil Moss, a very high bar has been set for this contest.
Certainly has, Teo. Good evening to you and all our viewers. I'm expecting 2 teams to really go at each other tonight. Of course, pride is on the line, both trying to avoid the wooden spoon, but there's only one way to do that, and that's attack and win games at football. And this has got all the ingredients tonight of being another high-scoring affair.
Look at that form line, not a single green dot among either team coming into tonight. Those wins, sadly, Mossy, are distant memories for these 2 clubs this season. Early offside. That's Lawson Rimmer over on the outer side of the pitch.
Yeah, you mentioned in your opening comments too, Teo, that goal difference. You know, it's so valuable for Brisbane if they can just find that second win of the season and build off that. But really, when you look at Perth Glory's goal difference, -32, having conceded 45 goals and only scored 13. It's just not good enough to compete at this level.
Pearman, sweeping pass out to the right. Milosnic's cross is blocked away. Zabala standing out at left back for the Brisbane Roar. The ball cleared a little further up the pitch.
Must be said, it is a stunning night in the West for football, isn't it? Good atmosphere in at the ground, 25 degrees, beautiful temperature for the players. The scene is definitely set.
Zavala looking for distance. Ball won't get to ground level just yet. Now Pearman brings it under a bit more control. Exchanging passes with Luke Amos, just a third appearance for the Englishman who arrived during the transfer window. Ludacudis. Yuto Misau. It's a very different looking Perth Glory team, even than the one that went to Suncorp earlier in the season. The transfer window giving the Glory opportunity to renovate the squad somewhat after a few misfires that began the campaign. Ollie Sale, the goalkeeper, getting his first touch. A little ponderous, the Glory, as they try to play out from the back. Taggart laid the ball down, but not to his team's advantage. Klein takes over for the Roar. And now Halloran. Jack Hingett restored to the starters tonight. Finds his time. Halloran making width on the right. Back to Samuel Klein. This is the 17-year-old Lucas Harrington next to Hosing Billity in defence. Both players getting a touch, and now back to Matt Acton. He's making just his third appearance of the campaign. Flying header comes through. Glory not back in possession just yet because the foul here on Henry Hoare. And it's going to be an early talking to as well.
It was a thumping challenge, wasn't it, from Takuya Okamoto, taking absolutely no prisoners whatsoever. Comes flying in from behind on Henry Hoare. I think he's quite lucky to escape a yellow card. Casey Rybelt, maybe it's too early in the game. The referee's liking to start brandishing the card.
Well, the Roar are going to continue to attack through their left flank, but a deflected shot has all the sting taken out of it on its way down to Ollie Sale. Clearance turns possession over immediately. Hingett and Halloran. And now Harrington. Billity. Jay O'Shea. Louis Zavala. Now going all the way back to the goalkeeper. Klein called for the pass. Perth trying to set a trap. Harrington keeping his head. And the veteran Hingett is able to draw a foul just as the Glory were trying to turn up the heat.
Yeah, I think Jack Hingett using his experience there just to relieve the pressure from his side. Just cool things down. There's a simmering tension and intensity about the early exchanges in this game. The crowd certainly playing their part as well.
Halloran. Second chance here for the Roar. Ben Halloran. Zavala getting forward. Doesn't want to send the ball into the box. O'Shea trying to step through the left flank here. Jay O'Shea, he goes to ground. The end result is a goal kick, so Takuya Okamoto hasn't been afraid to throw himself around in the opening minutes of this one.
No, and Jay O'Shea asking the question here. It was just outside the box. Gee, I think that's from behind. I'm very surprised Casey Rybelt didn't give Jay O'Shea exactly what he's asking for there, and that's a free kick on the edge of the Perth Glory box.
Okamoto, only his 4th appearance since arriving from Shonan Belmar in the J-League. He played for 8 seasons. Ability, back to his keeper. Okamoto. Amos. Crowd appreciate the build-up here. Amos! Oh, brilliant! A goal of the highest quality! Luke Amos! Perth into the lead! And almost 3 years in the making, Luke Amos, the last time he scored was April 2022 for QPR in the Championship. This is his first Isuzu UTE A-League goal. And
on the Harvey Norman replay, Luke Amos pulls one out from the very top draw. Look at that for a thumping strike, giving Matt Acton absolutely no chance. Look at that for a camera angle. That is absolute gold for the A-League competition and Perth Glory in particular. What a thunderous strike. Didn't have a lot of backlift either, but he fairly put his left laces through that ball. Brilliant technique, brilliant strike, and I can guarantee you he probably didn't even feel the ball come off his boot. It was struck that sweetly.
The 28-year-old in just his 3rd appearance for the Glory, and that is a goal that will garner attention back in the homeland. He's still got it, and I tell you what, doesn't that set the tone for the night? Perth Glory take the lead. They throw down the gauntlet on what has been a goal-filled weekend. The Roar only have one choice now, and that is to counter-attack.
Absolutely. They've got to go for it, don't they, Brisbane? As I said at kickoff, there's nothing to lose for these two sides tonight. Of course, they both want to avoid the wooden spoon. But gee, hasn't that set the scene? As we see, once again, Okamoto giving away a foul.
The instant reply could be on right here. Former Glory man Keegan Jelicic to take the set piece. Raw's chance and an instant response. Harrington, and it's set up. Oh, late contact coming in. It's going to be a foul here against Hossein Billity. He was the closest Raw man to the ball. He's happy to leave the scene and cool things down.
Yeah, he certainly decamped very quickly, didn't he? I think he's got every right to go for this. And he pulls his studs out. So he's clearly going for the ball and nothing else. The ball's there to be won. And of course, in the end, it's Ollie Sale that gets his hands on it first. Got no problem with Billity going for that.
23 years old Billity, of course, has spent a bit of time over in Europe and the UK. And a grab of the shirt here has been noticed. Offside flag has gone up. It's a Raw ball. 10 minutes in, what a 10 minutes.
Well, that, I'm sure, will be played over and over on highlights reels for the A-League goals. Some wonderful goals we're seeing in this competition. Once again, this season, some team goals, and then you see individual goals like that. Absolutely top shelf.
Here goes Abu Bakr, one of the Raw arrivals during the transfer window. On the ball right here. Jay O'Shea. Harrington, Klein. Jelicic uses Harrington again, and now Hingett. Missile, who is a little bit overzealous in the challenge. Or with former J-League players at both left back and right back tonight.
Let them both incurring the wrath of referee Casey Rybelt in these early exchanges. I'm sure that David Zrilic will be hoping that Misao and Okamoto can have a similar impact on his squad that Koto Mizunuma has had for Robbie Stanton at Newcastle.
Jay O'Shea's free kick, swinging to the very last man in line for Raw, which was Klein on the spin, blocked away. Ability first to respond to the ball, deflecting out to the left. Klein is going to try his luck, and it's blocked by the near man, Pennington.
Well, he's done brilliantly there, Pennington. He copped a knock in the earlier exchanges. You can see him just limping there, rubbing his right knee. He still put his body on the line to block that shot.
Eagerness to hunt the ball from Wales, but he slipped at the key moment. Ability to Zavala. Henry Hall plays the ball for Abu Bakr. The Portuguese Ghanaian. He goes to work here. 1-2 with Jelicic. And now Keegan Jelicic spins back onto his right, headed away by Pennington. Wales protecting the ball. Trying to release Milouznic. And he's got company in the form of Hinkett, and he shrugs it, and he's away. Nikola Milouznic, Perth on the break. Adam Taggart, the crowd rises, and his return ball to Milouznic was lacking. Raw trying to counter on counter, but they don't have the numbers for. Second ball's on here, though. Henry Hall bustling onto it here. He's wiped out. Ruben Zankovic blowing up in the technical area.
This has got everything, this game. In the opening 13 minutes, exactly what we were hoping for. Two teams going toe-to-toe, coaches striding their technical areas, driving their teams forward. I tell you what, had that last Perth attack ended in the back of the Brisbane net, there would have been blow-ups big time about a perceived foul on Jack Hinkett that wasn't given.
We've had 16 goals in 2 games and 13.5 minutes so far this weekend in the Isuzu UTE League. You wouldn't bet against there being more. Pennington is still favouring his upper knee or lower thigh. There's acrimony about who's got the throw-in. See a stat a moment ago that Raw are over 60% possession in the game through 14 minutes. And they are looking to go end-to-end here. Acton starting a venture out to the left. The ball is out this time. And it's glory ball. There's David Zrilic, the Perth Glory coach, picture in picture. He's become more animated as the season has gone on. There were games early in the campaign where he wasn't leaving his chair. Now he's become very much a touchline prowler. His Glory team are invested in this one. His ability spectacularly flies into the back of Adam Taggart.
Well, it's a silly foul. He was never going to win the ball there, at least not fairly. As we see some rafters creeping in. And this is that simmering tension I was talking about, Taylor.
You were on this early, Bossy.
It's a silly foul to give away by Ability. He was never, ever going to get in front of Adam Taggart. And he's given a foul away in what could prove to be a dangerous area.
What do you try to do as a ref in this situation? You've got two teams that are desperate, utterly desperate.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. And Casey Rybelt has got enough experience to be able to handle the occasion. No doubt stamp her authority on the game if needs be.
Well, there's a yellow card for Jack Hinkett. So here's a look at the afters. Hinkett's right there. I mean, Birchula is more or less the only Perth player around, so we didn't see anything too underwood. It's a heavy landing for Ability, even though he was the one that gave away the free kick.
I wouldn't mind betting that Jack Hinkett was still a bit aggrieved to not be given a foul few minutes earlier. And Perth Glory were attacking down this left-hand side. So the book quite early.
It is Perth's 2 Japanese players in the 11 tonight who stand over this free kick. Komodo, well, it's a wasted opportunity as it drifts out for a goal kick.
I just mentioned the impact that Kota Mizunuma has had for Newcastle, and set pieces and delivery to the box has been one of those impacts. Also the case for the Perth Glory Japanese imports on that occasion.
Abubakar sprinting down the right. What's on for him in the middle? Ludakudis wins the ball back for Glory and then gives it away. Klein. Henry Hoare calling for the ball, and it's overhit by Klein. Still gets a thumbs up from his teammate, though. Henry Hoare, who has 3 goals in 6 since rejoining the Raw.
He's a crucial player for Brisbane, Henry Hoare. He's almost a good run in behind, darting run in behind. Klein just couldn't get the way to pass right.
Sale going for distance. Taggart. Centre forward work to knock it down for Wales. Milosnic chasing. Muscling it on Zabala. Goes to ground. And, well, Jelicic almost left the ball behind in the penalty area. Under pressure from Pennington, but he goes and retrieves. Referee taking evasive action. Pearman, the youngster, crashed into by Klein. He's making the ball his objective here, Klein, but Perth Glory had the numbers. And Wales sends it back to Ludakudis. Amos, the goal scorer. What a goal it was. And Ruben Zatkovic can ponder how his team will restart playing out from the back here. Matt Acton and a goal kick. Short goal kick, and then Jay O'Shea, the player that goes for distance. Ability. Gives the ball up to Merchela. Taggart chasing his touch. Milosnic, and he's not able to run the ball down. Zabala was hoping for Abubakar, but didn't have enough distance on the throw. Henry Hoare played it into Pennington at close range. The deflection, a kind one for the Glory, and now Pennington with his feet and into open space. This is Missa. Sweeping cross, Harrington heads it away. Lockie Wales. Jalen Pearman. Comes Okamoto, and now Milosnic. Glory trying to build here. Milosnic, quick 1-2, and he was inspired to go for it himself, perhaps by his teammate Amos. Milosnic does have 2 goals career against Brisbane, but they were both wearing the colours of Adelaide United.
Well, he'd be doing well to relegate Luke Amos's strike to second best on the night. Milosnic, but that's enterprising play on the edge of the box. Looking for the wall pass, the 1-2. Just couldn't get his head over the ball.
See, the only shot on target tonight, and what a goal it was, is the goal. Matt Acton hasn't kept a clean sheet since August 2020 in the A-League, so he won't break that streak here tonight. Okamoto, and ability, got a glancing touch. Kingan sweeps it out for a throw-in.
Well, he did well there, ability, because Matt Acton had come a long way. Wouldn't taken much for a miscommunication to see the ball end up in the back of their own net.
Miss out. Wales with the back heel. Comes unstuck. Halloran clearing from deep. Mudakudis. Centre back to centre back as Harrington heads away. Amos barged over unceremoniously by Clyde. And a mid-range free kick.
Gee, I thought Casey Rivell could have played an advantage there. Because it was a good ball into the front line just there. Can miss out. Nevertheless, free kick in a good area.
Again, Misao and Okamoto, who were J-League rivals, with Misao playing for Kyoto and Okamoto playing for Shuman Belmar. It'll be the right foot or the left foot on delivery here. It'll be the left foot of Misao. Bending to the penalty spot and headed away. It goes behind for a corner, though.
From the other side, it was a floated delivery to the back post that didn't pick anyone out. This time they went for the whip delivery. Just didn't have enough height to beat that first defender.
Florian absolutely no rush to take this corner. Takuya Okamoto. It's going to set things up here. See a heap of raw numbers in the 6-yard box for Perth Glory players to run in. Here comes the corner then. And it takes a couple of deflections on its way out, and a goal kick is the end result.
Gee, Nick Pennington wasn't too far away there. He came storming through the middle. There he is on the back post. Great delivery. Acton couldn't come for it, or didn't come for it.
Maybe it didn't catch a deflection. I heard something in there, but goal kick the end result. Brisbane Roar now look to break in their pursuit of an equaliser. Abu Bakr is dispossessed immediately.
He was one of the names when the team sheets came out tonight that I was looking forward to seeing. Abu Bakr. See what impact he can have for this Brisbane Roar side.
Amos blown up for a foul, and Brisbane Roar have a mid-range free kick of their own after Jelicic, a player who really made his name in Perth Glory purple, was knocked off the ball here. So Luke Amos will look for a marker. Jay O'Shea be a bit too far out to shoot. We saw that brilliant free kick he scored against Newcastle from, to be fair, not a great deal closer to goal than this. Only a one-man wall, and perhaps anticipating that the Roar were going to play it short. Jay O'Shea. Headed from the edge of the box. Abu Bakr. Jack Hingan. Zabala. Glory sliding to win possession with Miliusnic. Pierman. Wales waited for the ball to arrive. Wants to send it back out to the right. Miliusnic. Okamoto and Amos. Passing chain is broken by O'Shea winning the ball for the Roar, and now Zabala in close quarters. And the referee's whistle does come to the aid of Henry Hall.
Well, it's not amounted to anything on this occasion for Perth Glory, but the press to win the ball back was really impressive. It was coordinated, had good energy, good intent to put pressure on Brisbane in their own half, and they won the ball. Again, they couldn't capitalise on it that time, but if they could keep that press as effective as that one was, get some real joy from it tonight.
Henry Hall looking to change the pace of the attack. Jay O'Shea, a tumbling pass. Misser and Pennington. Luda Curtis. And Glory seemingly have worked it out. Murchula. Okamoto. Coming in to intercept is Halloran, cleverly winning the ball away. Can Brisbane capitalise? Halloran is going to shoot from the edge of the box. Headed away by Luda Curtis. Abu Bakar assesses his teammates and where they stand. Hingett making a run. Abu Bakar, ball glued to his feet for now, and eventually winning a corner. Spent the vast majority of his career in the Swiss Super League. Most recently, of course, Grasshopper Zurich. Nestor Iran Kunda's current club. Here's the short corner routine for Brisbane. Jelicic. Ooh, Zabala. Hard foul, and it's going to be a booking for Nikola Milojevic. And the yellow card was straight out of the pocket there.
Yeah, I don't think there's any decision really to make there. The referee, Casey Rybell. Studs were up from Milojevic. As you can see there, he just gets the timing wrong. Nothing more than a yellow card, but a yellow card nonetheless.
So Milojevic joins Hingett in the referee's book, 1 card each for the opposing teams. That underlying tension in the game has just taken a bit of a break, Mossy. It feels like the focus very much right now is on Brisbane's pursuit of an equaliser and Perth trying to contain and counter.
Yeah, it's just gone off the boil, as you'd expect, around the 30-minute mark. There's certainly a blistering opening, plenty of intensity.
Jay O'Shea, 1-2 to begin the free kick routine. Trying to drive it out to the right where there's not much on. Hingett. Well, Mossy, explain that free kick to us.
Well, it's just at that nagging distance, isn't it? And it was a bit too central. I'm sure Jay O'Shea stood over it. Thought probably going short is a better option, but it amounted to 0. I'm sure he's at 2 free kicks at long distance now. He's hoping for one a little bit closer.
High clearance by Harrington. Perth fans thought there was a foul earlier in that phase of play. There's Milojevic being helped to his feet. Good sportsmanship from Henry Hall. Doesn't want to talk his way into a second card in short order here, Milojevic, though, so perhaps not the most vehement protest you might have expected. Murchula. Okamoto. Milojevic. Ability. Zabala. Back into his own penalty area. Klein with a scuffed clearance. But the Raw are going to untangle themselves out of defence. Ben Halloran wins the throw. Two options on the right here for the Raw. Hingett veers away, goes backwards. Wales just trying to put a bit of fear into Harrington, who looked unflustered. It back to Acton. Now Ability, right up the middle. Abu Bakar, Klein, Halloran. Out to Hingett, first time cross, and turn behind for a corner kick. As fluid as the Raw have looked so far.
Absolutely, that was a fantastic phase by Brisbane Raw. Abu Bakar set it up in midfield with some really sharp touches. Halloran did the rest. Hingett trying to pick out a teammate. Thought Halloran did really well there to pick out Hingett. Good timing of the pass, good weight of the pass.
His last corner was a short one to the edge of the box. This one has a bit more byplay inside the penalty area. Halloran, Milosnic and Sale. Fletcher. And immediately back to what they were doing. And there's a few wry smiles in there, but now it gets serious as the ball comes in, and Harrington, the closest raw player to it, and it ultimately balloons out.
It was a tough one to get over for Harrington to head the ball down. Decent delivery by Jelicic.
Harrington's one and only goal so far in his fledgling career was in the 4-3 win away at Sydney FC on the 18th of January. 17 years old, playing his 10th game of the season and his career tonight. Wales, and he sold his teammate Amos there into a little bit of trouble with Raw applying the press, but Glory have found a solution. From Mergela, Amos now a pass more to his advantage. He finds a teammate in Milosnic, and he's trying to relay on for Taggart, but it's knocked away by Billity. Zavala keeps it in. He's got support from O'Shea. Ball, Mudokums heads it to Pennington. Pennington now. Milosnic's nick onto his own advantage. Very clever. Milosnic breaking into the box and can't tee out Taggart. Groans from the home fans as a great chance goes begging.
Oh, what about that for a touch from Milosnic? That was absolutely sublime, the way he took that into his stride, left the defender for dead, and really should have had something better at the end of that. He was trying to pick out Taggart. The touch to set him on his way was absolutely brilliant.
Now Glory built through the left. Wales saved by Acton. Oh, the flag is up. It may not have counted. Acton wasn't to know.
It was a good reflex save from Acton. But look at that. There's the touch from Milosnic. That is absolutely sublime. And then he looks for Taggart. You can see the eyes have it. Just couldn't pick him out. And there's the offside. Lockie Wales just straying by a step.
Yeah, I mean, in real time, it looks like a good call. 3 offsides to naught, as you can see there. Rora adamant it was handball against Pennington on the ground. The ball remains live regardless. Billity, Zavala. Henry Hall. Abubakar. 10 minutes of regulation time remaining in the first half. Well out of his area, supporting the build-up play. Klein. Ingham. Klein with the diagonal ball, telegraphed a little. Okamoto heading down. Milosnic, he's on tonight. He's breaking through midfield here. Forces it out to the left and a little too forced. Too much on it for Lockie Wales.
Certainly as we enter the last 10 minutes, plus injury time of the first half, it'll be Perth Glory. They're probably disappointed they're not further ahead. They've had the better of the chances.
Now Raw's turn to counter-punch. Great pass, Jelicic. Abubakar untangles his feet and scores! Brisbane are level. Asuma Abubakar with his first A-League goal, and he runs to Ruben Zatkovic in celebration.
And right on cue, the commentator's curse hits. Just as I said, Perth Glory had the better of the chances. Brisbane Roar fashioned one for themselves, and Abu Bakar on the Harvey Norman replay, he's just so positive. He makes this out of nothing, really. He gets a fortuitous bounce into his path and then finishes very well, poking it past Ollie Sale to give his side an equaliser.
And HBF Park falls silent. Asuma Abu Bakar, you see there, 4 appearances to raise his first goal. It's his first since May of 2024 when he was playing for Grasshoppers against FC Thun in the Swiss Super League. And that'll be a massive confidence boost for him, 27 years of age.
Yeah, huge. He's been busy in his first half. He's done some quality things, but mainly not on the front line, just dropping off into midfield to link up. But that showed his quality inside the box with a real poacher's instinct and finish. Perth are feeling a little bit aggrieved about potential foul.
Well, I was going to say, what about Okamoto and the way he more or less fell out of the way in the end, Mossy?
Yeah, that's right. It was a bit of a calamity the way Perth defended the situation, but they were asking for a foul.
So the complexion of the game changes. Perth opened the scoring in spectacular fashion. Brisbane Roar, a bit of persistence and will. A miss-hit shot from Keegan Jelicic didn't matter. Zasuma Abu Bakar had the ball in the back of the net. Only a second later, here's another look. So there's the miss-hit shot. There's Okamoto falling out of the way, and there's the goal.
Yeah, and I don't see a foul there. I think that's play on. Everything above board, and it was just the persistence of Abu Bakar that ultimately won the day.
There's only one result tonight that will leave both fan bases unhappy, and it's a draw. So, for both fan bases' sake, hopefully there's more goals on the way. Just can't promise they'll be for your team. Here's Missau. Pennington. O'Shea's header. Missau returning serve. And then Harrington nudged while he was in the air. Free kick, Brisbane. How do you rate his introduction to senior football, Mossy? Harrington's been away. He was the second youngest member of the young Socceroos team that won that Under-20 Asian Cup, but he stepped right back into senior A-League football since returning.
Yeah, fantastic. That's exactly what we want to see, as long as they're good enough and ready to take their opportunity. I can imagine that Chris Coyne, the assistant coach for Brisbane Roar, has been doing a fair bit of work as a former centre-back himself.
Roar on the build-up. They turn the deficit into a lead. Jelicic's shot blocked away. Taggart unable to get the better of O'Shea. And here is Harrington, spicing things up as he passes over to Billity. And the whistle does come here as Amos perhaps recognised that he had shoved Jelicic. His attempts to win the ball. Ability's pass, quite to the advantage of Haller and Wales. Amos. See the foul count there. They'll make it 9-4, that free kick given away by Jelicic here. Taking a dart, that long pass, headed away and dealt with. Klein with a little burst. Abu Bakar to double back. Loose header breaks central, and now Henry Hall. Defers to Halloran. Hingett making a run. Perth with numbers in defence, though. Hall. Klein. Incisive pass here. Halloran looking for a teammate, and blocked immediately by Missow out for a corner.
He made a great run there, Halloran, just to free himself up inside the 18-yard box. Missow, in the end, made the decision to go and close the ball, and it was a good decision too, albeit conceding the corner.
Well, push and shove in the 6-yard box. And now Sale is trying to bully Ben Halloran here, really. We saw at the last corner it was all smiles. Now it's a bit less friendly.
I have to say, I think both players have gone to the ground a little bit too easily for my liking.
And they cannot leave each other alone here. The corner will belatedly take place. And the referee immediately whistles for a foul. So Ben Halloran, the instigator and the pantomime villain as far as the home fans are concerned.
And there was never any doubt that Ben Halloran was going to take that course of action, given the lead up. And Casey Ryvelt's eyes really weren't even on the ball. It was just watching Halloran. A very, very easy whistle. Here it is on the replay. That's his almost vigilante action there, Teo.
Well, and you're almost glad the whistle went early, because imagine if Roar had scored and VAR comes through and says, wait a minute. Okamoto with a solid header. And now Milosnic trying to let his boots do the talking. He's going to break onto the ball here. Milosnic, well, Harrington went to ground and then bounced back up. The ball has eventually worked its way out for a corner kick. Fans are chanting for VAR. Mossy, decipher that for us.
Yeah, it must be for a potential handball, because I didn't see anything else in that. This is Harrington went to ground.
Casey Ryvelt is waving for the corner to be taken, so clearly VAR didn't see anything. Here comes the corner. Tumbles through the box. Milosnic! He hooked it. That was his chance to get the last laugh against Halloran, but he shanked it away.
Yeah, I think he was in two minds there, whether to put his laces through it or cushion it with the instep of the foot. In the end, he drags it wide because he just gets his technique wrong. Would have been better off using the instep there, just trying to place it in that near post area that seemed to be quite wide open. You see 1 minute of injury time added on to a first half, really, Taylor, that has absolutely flown by.
1-1, a couple of cards. Ebb and flow. Tensions are starting to rise back up again. It's a hard foul in that aerial duel. And the trainers are being called.
Yeah, that looked like a nasty head clash. I'm just surprised if we see a bit of claret here.
Merchela, the Perth player, and Henry Hall for Brisbane. See the Raw trainers immediately assessing the back of Henry Hall's head, and Tommy Merchela. Oh, it's a solid contact there.
It certainly is. I think Merchela might come out of this worse off than Henry Hall. He's back to his feet. He's not going to stay down for long. Not in the centre halves union. Big Tommy Merchela.
Good news is there is no blood for him. There is a yellow card.
It's hard to argue. He did come right through the back of Henry Hall. He's never really going to win the ball.
So, physio here and the doctor just explaining that there's no need for a concussion check, I suspect. or
see
is...
there, clearly he's very, very late to Nurturer. He's been ordered to the sideline.
So because it's him that gives away the foul and the yellow card, Henry Hawkins stay on, and it's 11 versus 10 at this set piece. So right as stoppage time expires, Raw have got an extra man, and it's a very important Perth player that has to make his way back on from the sidelines. Can Brisbane capitalise? Jay O'Shea. The ball drops and blasted high by Ben Hallam. And that should be the final act of the half. Indeed it is. And so in this battle between 2 in Perth and 1 win Brisbane, there is nothing to separate them at the halftime break. Asuma Abubakar scored his first A-League goal, and that's after Luke Amos did exactly that for the Perth Glory. There's been 3 yellow cards dished out, and there has been plenty of desperation on display. But as it stands, it's Perth Glory 1, Brisbane Roar 1. Stay with us. The halftime show is on the other side of this short break. You're watching the Isuzu UTE A-League. what has been a very exciting game and a desperate physical game between Perth Glory and the Brisbane Roar so far at HBF Park. 1-1 the halftime score. Let's get into the Hungry Jacks halftime show. And all of those youngsters out there will be dreaming of playing for the Perth Glory one day, and either the Socceroos or the Matildas as well. And as they have their fun, let's get into the action. The Harvey Norman highlights from the first half. Phil Moss, it was Perth Glory who perhaps had the better of the opening 15 minutes, but for the most part, Brisbane Roar had possession, territory, and, well, they had to come from behind after this strike from Luke Amos.
I was going to say, and they had that. What a strike this is from Luke Amos. Absolutely superb. He had to sort his feet out very quickly and then generate his own power with his left foot. Look at that for technique. And there is an angle from behind Luke Amos that shows that goal absolutely brilliantly. Here it is here. Look at that. It is just an absolute tracer bullet through the air to give his side the lead, and something that I think we will see replayed over and over and over again.
And so that was 1-0 after 7 minutes, but the Glory weren't able to score a second, and ultimately that would prove costly for them. Mile Usnic letting fly with that chance there.
Yeah, Mile Usnic was busy in the first half. He was central to most of the good things that Perth Glory did in the top third. He didn't get his technique right on that occasion. And here's one where Pennington just misses ever so close to getting something on that to see it into the back of the net. And this is Brisbane Roar getting forward. Halloran picking out Hingard. Hingard couldn't quite find the right pass. Well defended, it has to be said, by Missau. And here is Abu Bakar, and he was so positive for this goal. He just believed something was going to come from it. Look at that, give and go, return, and then he just fought for the ball and then produced a poacher's finish to give his side the equaliser.
Roar feel like they have absolutely good value for that, because they have been growing into the game, and ultimately it may not look the prettiest, and there is Okamoto going flying there, but Roar very much deserved their 1-1 scoreline.
Yeah, I think so. They were good value to be in the contest at half-time. And look at that, Abu Bakar going to his coach, Ruben Zadkovic, to celebrate. And I think a draw is probably a fair result at half-time.
With that said, only one shot on target apiece. So for all the attacking intent, the quality hasn't been there, Mossy. How does that number lift in the second half?
Well, it's just taking that extra split second, isn't it, to produce that quality, and that's why top players in the top third are paid top dollar, because they can produce that. But you can see the expected goals there reasonably even, although on the scheme of the first half, you would have to say it's Matt Acton who's been the busier.
Now, there's 15 total fouls in the game, and Mossy, there has been no shortage of physical attention in both directions, and it threatened to boil over at one point, and then eased off at about the half-hour mark. How have you seen the level of competitiveness and aggression in the contest so far?
Oh, it's been fantastic, and Okamoto set the scene early on with a couple of early fouls. And this is what you'd expect to see, and Billity going for the ball there. I thought he had every right to go for that, even though it was a foul, correctly adjudicated by Casey Rybelt. But this is what you want to see from two teams who are desperate to avoid the wooden spoon. They've had poor seasons. You can see Halloran there throwing himself about. I think both players went to ground too easy there, but you would expect to see desperate. This is a desperation derby to avoid the wooden spoon.
It's always hard to anticipate, you know, who's going to get subbed off as we end the Hungry Jacks halftime show. In a word, do we think we get a red card in the second half?
Oh, I wouldn't bet against it, but you'd like to think not, because we really want to see an even contest, and we want to see the best team, 11 v 11, take the points tonight.
All right, so we'll be back for the second half in just a moment. Don't forget, it is Grand Prix weekend on the 10 Network.
F1 is back for 2025, and it's bigger and better than ever.
Can't you believe what we're seeing?
Max and Lando renewed their red-hot rivalry.
Oh, they made contact!
The King is sporting new colours, and our local hero returns home triumphant.
Oscar Piastri wins!
We've got it all right here as the season starts at Albert Park.
It's game on!
It's the Formula One Louis Vuitton Australian Grand Prix, live on 10.
a live look at HBF Park. The second half not far away, but Phil Moss, let's take a look at some of the standout individuals in the game so far with the Paramount Plus Player Index. Luke Amos, top of the pile.
Well, not surprising given the wonder strike that gave his side the lead in this match. It was an absolute thunderbolt and a goal worthy of any stage in world football. And Abu Bakar, he's been busy for Brisbane Roar up front and dropping into midfield as well to link up with other players. Jelicic has also added some real value for his side in that first half.
So those are the standout individuals, but what substitutions will we see in the second half? There is the first cab off the rank. It's going to be Trent Ostler entering the game, and we're hearing it's for Nikola Mileušnić. So Mossy, a very busy first half from Mileušnić, but unfortunately for him, over after just 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if it's potentially a knock that he copped or an injury of some sort, because he was busy. Although he might not have had the end product in that first half, he showed glimpses that he was growing into the game.
So there goes the change. Trent Ostler comes on for his first A-League goal since November 2022. Normally seen him deployed as a right back, so I wonder if we will see a bit of a positional switch. Ostler was a more attacking player in his youth days. So that's the scene at the start of the second half. Brisbane Roar to kick off. A 1-1 scoreline as they chase just their second win of the Isuzu UTE A-League men's campaign. Perth Glory, who took the lead, looking to double their efforts and go again. They've made one change with Trent Ostler coming on for Nikola Mileušnić at halftime. For Roar, the same 11 that started the game. Getting us back underway at HBF Park. Round that has yielded 18 goals in 2.5 games so far. And Phil Moss, the next one could be all important.
Yeah, that's right. And let's hope there's more than just one goal in the second half, because the first half certainly set a great foundation for this second half. But it looks as though Trent Ostler has gone like for like, replacing Nikola Mileušnić on the right-hand side of the Perth midfield.
He's been very versatile over his A-League career, and again, in his younger days, he had 2 knee reconstructions, Mossy, but he was deployed as a more attacking player through his youth football, so not unfamiliar for him, even though in more recent times we've seen him as more of a right back or a right wing back.
Yeah, and he's certainly got plenty of time now, 45 minutes plus injury time, to have a real impact on his game.
See at the base of your screens the lineups currently appearing. Tommy Murchula, one of the players in that first half. Do you think that the card to Mileušnić's name may have also been a factor? He was one of 3 players that picked up a booking. The other one is Jack Hingett, who's also out there at the start of the second 45. As we see Ollie Sale clearing again. Taggart knocking it on to Wales. Not able to exactly set Missau free into space, though, over on the left flank. It's Lucas Harrington who has possession. And now Sam Klein. Here is Hingett. Ability. He's got Adam Taggart buzzing around, fresh off a recall to the Socceroos, of course, for the all-important World Cup qualifiers against Indonesia at home and then China away. Yuto Missau. Luke Amos, the goal scorer from the first half. Missau uses his left foot. Ostler looking for impact off the bench. And then the header comes in from Amos, who leapt over his own teammate in Taggart.
You mentioned Adam Taggart's call up to the Socceroos, and that certainly didn't raise any eyebrows with me as we see that cross come into that back post area. Ostler just trying to nod it back into the path of a teammate. Amos getting on the end of it, but one non-selection did raise my eyebrow, and that was Noah Bodic. Just thought he might have been a really loud shout for the Socceroos camp for this window, this FIFA window. He's so critical to the Socceroos' chances of qualifying directly.
So far this weekend, we've seen a goal for Nishan Balukale, an assist for Daniel Arzani, a goal for Brandon Barello. So a lot of the A-League-based players that have been called up to the Socceroos have responded. Adam Taggart has a half of football left to perhaps add his name to that roll call from the weekend. And you're right, Mossy, it will be fascinating to see how Bodic responds given the scoring form that he has been in. Looks in from the outside for now. Ability tried to slice straight through the middle of the Glory midfield, and they closed him down. Pennington.
Just lost its momentum then, didn't it? The Perth Glory, they stole the ball and it looked as though they were going to transition to attack with some fluency. Pennington just couldn't find a forward pass.
Osler, Wales, and now Missau. Utah Missau to the edge of the box, beats both Glory players and is swept upon by Zabala. Now I'm wondering if this is broken play, Mossy, and it will course correct in a moment, or if Missau has been pushed further up the pitch. Right now, Lachie Wales has got the ball and the Glory are on the move. Wales was trying to thread the eye of the needle for Taggart, and the combination of Zabala and Billity were able to block the ball, and now Henry Hoare is in possession. It was just broken play. Missau has eventually gone and refound his spot and left back, but Amos was stepping in for him for a good couple of minutes there, and now the number 17 for Perth Glory back in more familiar surrounds as he goes to work in defence here against Higgett and has to concede a corner in doing so. So Brisbane, who fell behind in this game after just 7 minutes, trying to turn things around. They have not won away in Perth. It was here at HBF Park in March 2022. And there's the goal that goes in front. Samuel Klein for the first time in the A-League. Brisbane Roar have come from behind to lead. Perth shell-shocked. Sam Klein celebrating.
Well, that's exactly the start to the second half that Brisbane Roar would have been hoping for, as David Zadrulich looks on in disgust at the way his team failed to defend that set piece. There was a hopeful ball to the back post area on the Harvey Norman replay, and it's just played back inside by Abubakar, and it's Klein who reacts first, and he gets great purchase on that strike with his left foot. And there's nothing Perth Glory can do at that point in time, but they didn't defend the first phase well at all in their back post area.
What a moment for Sam Klein. The 21-year-old scores for the first time in the A-League, and they'll be celebrating in Brisbane for him. It's just his 13th career appearance. 12 of them have come this season. From the Sunshine Coast, he's had a stint at the Gold Coast on his way through the NPL. Mossy, what a moment for him. He's had some chances, some great chances to score that first A-League goal on this 12-game run he's been on in the first team. And now Brisbane Roar, as things stand, are climbing off the foot of the table.
Yeah, and it was a very assured finish, wasn't it, from Sam Klein. Once the ball was played back inside by Abubakar. Klein knew exactly what he was doing. A method of taking the wind out of the home crowd sails. It's conceding a set piece like that early in the second half to go behind when your team took the lead early in the game. this is where Perth needs some cool heads and good leadership. They need to stay calm and have the belief that they'll get themselves back into this game. For Brisbane Roar, this is a fantastic opportunity, as you said, to get themselves off the foot of the table.
And Mossy, I say he's 21. If you're in Queensland, he's been 21 for the best part of 22 hours. It's still his birthday. Let's stay with play here for the Roar. Halloran. Can they set up a 2-goal buffer? Abu Bakr, we saw him score in the first half. Halloran trying for the back heel to thread him through. Klein. Ball's going to sit up here for Henry Hoare. Klein, fresh off one. Can't make it two. A deflection, though, and now some desperate defending. The Glory being a little bit rattled at present. Brisbane strike while they've got wind in their sails. Jay O'Shea. Harrington. The most advantageous pass there from Henry Hoare, and Rocky Wales has nicked it and won it away. Jalen Pearman. It's a shot on target, but straight at Acton.
Yeah, he didn't get the direction or the power, Jalen Pearman, that he was hoping for there, as we see the goal again. With Abu Bakr nodding the ball back into the path of Sam Klein. And that is a really clean strike from the Brisbane Roar midfielder.
Here he is in possession now. Both teams have doubled their shots on target. Roar have scored from both of their shots on target in this game. Henry Hoare wheeled himself onto the ball but was bumped off it. Amos, Harrington, O'Shea flicking it on. Henry Hoare often chasing, links Murchula to the ball. And Murchula has fouled him here. Henry Hoare is earnestly protesting, and now Murchula is saying you can't motion for the yellow card like that. So,
well, he knows Murchula's already on a yellow card, doesn't he, Henry Hoare? A little bit of gamesmanship there, trying to get his opponent sent from the field. Foul tally racks up for Perth Glory, 13-5.
He's trodden on the boot there, Mossy.
Been manhandled. He's got both hands, a fistful of his shirt in both hands, and trodden on his foot. It could certainly have been yellow.
So the moment passes in the aftermath of the foul, but a free kick is still to be taken. Jelicic hooked back from beyond the far post. Henry Hoare, it's cleared initially. Zavala on his right foot. Klein in for the header against Pennington. And the end result is a corner. Brisbane remain on top.
They're just keeping this pressure valve on, aren't they? Not relieving it. Perth Glory having to batten down the hatches. Crucial period of the game. They have to defend this well. Already conceded from this side.
And the home fans are behind the goal that Glory are defending. They're trying to find their voice. They're trying to rally the home team here in the face of trying to stave off going 2 goals behind in this game. Almost every corner kick has had this level of push and shove, and no matter how many times Casey Reibelt has tried to lay down the law, it hasn't exactly put a stop to some of the shenanigans.
No, but having said that, I think she has controlled proceedings quite well up to this point of the game.
I think Abu Bakr there, credit to him. He knows Brisbane's got the momentum. He's saying, let's not get distracted. We want to stay on the attack. Here comes the corner kick. And it's Abu Bakr at close range and saved. It took a series of ricochets. And in the end, Ollie Sale clasps his hands around the ball.
Gratefully so as well. That could have gone anywhere, that ricochet.
Perth flip the field in the blink of an eye. Pennington Raw defence back and set. Amos. Missile. Blocks. And some personal cost here for Howard. Well, the home fans may protest, but I think we can all empathise with Ben Howard.
Well, those who've experienced the pain of that situation will certainly be sympathising. It's not something you want to go through at all. As we see that corner again, look at this. Again, Abu Bakr is just so positive in those situations. Makes his own luck, as we saw for that first goal. And there we see that again. And I'm sure Ben Halloran might want to see that again.
Still wincing, but on his feet. And the drop ball is going to be the result. Perth will keep possession. There's possession in the second half, so in contrast to the first half, final third entry is also going Brisbane Raw's way. Headed by Harrington. Missile. Good control initially. Found a way through. Taggart. Knocked off his toes. Merchant. Perth reload. Mutakutis. Wales on the end of a drifting pass. Blocked away by Hingett. Miss out in his eagerness to backtrack has booted the ball deep into the defensive half. As we hit the hour mark, it's Brisbane Raw with a 2-1 lead away in the west. Ball over the top, Ostler. A slip could be all important, opening the door here. Okamoto. And Harrington dives into the header. Ruben Zatkovic watches on. How long until there are more substitutions activated? Perth made one at half-time with Ostler coming on for Milosnic. Brisbane Raw have kept their powder dry. Ollie Sale. O'Shea.
That's great to see from Brisbane Raw. They could be forgiven for starting to protect that lead, but they're continuing to press high as we do see Brisbane go to the bench.
And it is their man on a yellow card, Jack Hingett. Career game in the A-League number 297 comes to an end, and he'll be replaced by the former Perth Glory man, Anthony Burke-Gilroy. 27-year-old right back comes on. Hingett gets congratulations, and Burke-Gilroy is into the game. So one sub apiece for both teams. Pim, Pennington. Okamoto making ground on the right, and the ball reaches him. Passed it almost into a 50-50, exactly to Ostler's advantage, and the ball is booted away. Mutakutis, a solid header. Pennington. Long ball is fielded by Acton. Don't forget, tomorrow it's a 6:55 start. Sydney FC against Wellington Phoenix. Sydney FC coming off the back of that thrilling win in the AFC Champions League 2 on Thursday night. And Wellington Phoenix looking for a rare win. Here's a chance for the Raw. Jelicic. Little drag step. Jay O'Shea over the bar. Oh, a good chance for Brisbane to make it 3-1.
Really good chance. I think there's a little bit too much on that pass to Jay O'Shea. Just need to be a little less pace on it from Jelicic there, and you can see it bobbling around. It would have been very difficult for Jay O'Shea. We know how technically gifted he is, just to keep his head over that ball. That could be the the difference. Those little 1%ers, that great run from Jelicic to set up the opportunity. And the final pass really let him down, and more so let his teammate down, Jay O'Shea.
They don't want to let the game drift here, Brisbane. You can sense Mossy the chance to really go for the kill. If they get 3-1 up, it could be pretty demoralising for the Glory. This is a great run here from Missa. He shrugged to opponents already. Pearman slides it across to Osler. Okamoto ignored. The cross in. Acton. Missa! Oh, he's fired it well wide. And when the big moment came, the shooting technique abandoned him.
He just couldn't get his feet right in time, could he? Miss out. As you see, Acton just swat the ball away. Great first touch from Missau, but couldn't sort his feet out quickly enough to then get his head over the ball and keep it down. This will be a good angle as well. That's a really good first touch to set up the second for a shot.
Well, he was an irregular goal scorer in the J-League, just 6 goals in 250 appearances, albeit one as recently as June of last year. Perhaps that should have at least hit the target. Here he is on the ball now, Lachie Wales. Pennington. Ruben Zadkovic instructing, but Glory getting in behind. Okamoto, fullback to fullback. Missau brings the ball down. Has to veer away from the penalty area. Amos. I mentioned the 2-goal buffer, not only because the advantage it would give the Raw, but both of Glory's wins this season have been 1-0s. They haven't had a comeback win. They haven't had a high-scoring win. So even in this situation, if they were to win from here, it would be uncharted territory under David Spillett.
Well, maybe that's the next step they need to take as a football team. Prove that they can do that, but Brisbane Raw, I have to say, good value for where they sit right now in the scheme of things on the night.
Harrington. Exchange of headers between the centre-backs. Halloran. He's going to shoot from distance. Oh, just wide. Ben Halloran saw an opportunity and very nearly took it.
And he had Ollie Sale scrambling as well. For a moment there, I thought it was going to sneak inside the post. I think Ollie Sale thought the same.
Body language from Amos, gesturing to his fellow midfielders. Who's on? Who's open? There's the next pass. Mutakutis drifting a little bit lost, and now Missau boots the ball away in disappointment after fumbling his touch, out for a throw. We've got multi-ball here because there was one ball on the pitch after Missau had booted it away and Raw wanted to take the throw quickly.
Here's that strike again from Halloran. You can see Ollie Sale taking no chances there. He had it covered, pulled his hand out at the last second. Goalkeeper always knows his dimensions.
Pennington rolling right into trouble. Jelicic wrapped him up but couldn't take the ball. Ability. Abu Bakar. Jay O'Shea. Now Zavala. Great touch from Jelicic. Set Zavala away. Abu Bakar there in support. Trying to burst from a standing start. He tumbles to the ground. Osler back in. Help from Merchula. Now cleared from right back as Glory see. Adam Taggart's not happy with how he was seen Billity left against him there.
Well, he did. He won the header, Billity, and then threw Adam Taggart to the ground like a rag doll. You see a potential problem here. Well, let's look at the replay first. There's as much in that as Tags is making out.
So, Okamoto, what is the issue? Is it just a cramp or is it a calf? Seems to be waving off the trainer or the referee's invitation to bring out the trainer. I mentioned Chris Coyne earlier in the game. Mossy, he's now in earnest discussion with the fourth official, Shane Skinner, the former Socceroo, being ushered back to the technical area. It looks like it's all's well that ends well for Okamoto. He's only walking for now. It's seemingly okay to stay on. Ball is volleyed over to Ruben Zakovic's technical area. Absolutely no hurry from Brisbane Roar. There's a look at some of the subs that are warming up. Jacob Brissett amongst them, fresh off his maiden A-League goal last weekend away in Adelaide. Even need him tonight, Brisbane. Do have a very attacking bench, the likes of Stroud, Berringer, Amanatitis and Brissett. Recognised defender amongst the subs is Walid Shaw, Lebanese international. Pearman. Again, Jalen Pearman distributing out to the right. Okamoto, how's he looking? Still a little proppy as he plays the pass, and he didn't have a burst of acceleration to come up in support of Trent Ostler, but he's now jogging back to his position right back. 20 minutes of regulation to go. Brisbane Roar holding a 2-1 lead and jumping into 12th at Perth Glory's expense for now. Abu Bakr. He breaks down the left, he looks at what's on in the middle, no one home, at least not yet. Here comes support. Jelicic, not able to shake the hips and lose Merchela, who took the ball in a slight challenge. Okamoto to Tomislav Merchela. Pearman really growing into the game. Jalen Pearman. Wales whips it in. Harrington with a good clearance. Henry Hall. Abu Bakr. Oh, too clever by half. Lost the ball in an attempted step over. Now it's Glory's turn. Trying to hurry down the right flank. There is Florent Berenguer, the Frenchman. Taking off the tracksuit top. It looks as though it's going to be a double change. The youngster Nathan Amanatitis could be on the way as well. Glory building in the meantime. Lockie Wales whips in a first-time ball. Headed away by Billity. And a sliced clearance away. That's not a good sign. Asaman Abu Bakr is down. The referee is going to bring the trainer's attention to the fallen Raw goal scorer.
Well, you just feel and sense that it's coming to the boil again this game. A lot of emotion in both technical areas. A lot of emotion out there on the pitch. I think we're set for a wonderful 20 or so minutes remaining in this game. Some fresh legs from both sides coming onto the pitch as well.
Busy part of this double sub here, the Ghana-born former Portugal youth international.
17 for 11 the second one.
So the subs go through. Henry Hall is going to be coming off here for Florent Berenguer. And Asama Abu Bakr, on a night where he opened his A-League account, comes off, and 19-year-old attacker Nathan Amanatitis comes on for his 19th career game. He's still hunting his first Isuzu UTE A-League goal. So close, perhaps absolutely should have scored against Melbourne Victory a couple of weekends ago. Perth Glory there, you saw a double change in the offing. Patrick Wood, striker on loan from Sydney FC, and and the homegrown attacker, Joel Anasmo. So Glory about to make a very attacking double substitution of their own. For the home stretch here, Klein, his goal is the winner for now. Amos sees Wales in midfield. Lucky Wales. A scooped pass out to the right. Osler trying to freewheel across. He gets a second chance and puts it over the head of Taggart. And Anthony Burke-Gilroy will burst out of the right side. Manatitis, first touch off the bench. Ball popped over the top. Mutakutis. Through comes Klein. Given away by Merchler. A chance here for King and Jelicic. Jelicic with Berenguer in the middle. Not able to find him. Merchler makes amends.
Oh yeah, Jay O'Shea screaming for it on his left-hand side. In an acre of space, he picked the wrong pass there, Jelicic.
Kevin able to turn his marker, but then doesn't have the energy behind the pass. Cleared by Klein. It's becoming a track meet, Mossy. The game is becoming stretched and end-to-end. And Manatitis might thrive in these conditions. The fresh legs of the youngster coming off the bench. And then perhaps the wise ahead of Halloran just slowing things down. It's Brisbane Roar who have the lead after all.
Well, that's very intelligent play from Halloran, using all his experience. It's Brisbane who need to dictate the tempo here. Perth need to chase it.
Veteran Frenchman, Berenguer. Klein. Burke-Gilroy. Now Halloran. Manatitis. Jay O'Shea. Zabala trying to add numbers to the attack here. The left back venturing up the pitch. O'Shea still has Zabala on. He cuts it into the box, and then out of the box it goes. Slight challenge from Okamoto. Well, he goes back down. He's been labouring a bit for the last 5 minutes or so. Is he one of the players being sacrificed here? Indeed he is. Takuya Okamoto comes off, and Patrick Wood comes on. And in order for Joel Anasmo to enter the game, it's going to be the goal scorer for the Glory, Luke Amos, who comes off. And Anasmo, 20 years old, scored on his A-League debut against Melbourne City in February of last year. So he's been waiting more than a year to double his A-League tally. He comes on, and Luke Amos, after that special goal, we're hoping his teammates can get something out of the night so that it's not remembered as a goal that came in a defeat.
Yeah, I think the goal aside, Luke Amos can be reasonably pleased with his output this evening in general play in midfield. But a special goal, no doubt, an absolute highlight of his career.
Klein. There's the Hungry Jacks live ladder. Brisbane Roar with a vastly better goal difference to that of Perth, going above them on 11 points each. And of course, Wellington play away at Sydney FC tomorrow. They might still be in play if one of Brisbane or Perth can get some sort of a winning streak going in the final 5 or 6 games of the season.
Yeah, no substitutions for Perth Glory. Patrick Wood going up front to partner Adam Taggart, as you'd expect. Trent Osler dropping to right fullback with Joel Anasmo occupying that right side of midfield. So the
territory battle firmly in Brisbane's favour at present. Another set-piece opportunity here. Keegan Jelicic standing over the dead ball. Jelicic's free kick. Attempted flick on by Ability. And now Harrington. A little tangle of legs as he recycled the ball back to Zabala. Harrington's back up. Deflected across the top of the area. And now Glory can turn and go. And Asmo up and chasing. And he's beaten in the foot race by Burke Gilroy.
Didn't Burke Gilroy read that brilliantly for Brisbane? Rory sensed the danger of an Asmo's run. Lockie Wales tried to find him over the top. Burke Gilroy made sure he was first on the scene to avert the danger.
Osler. Taggart was up, didn't make solid contact with the ball. Missile. Looks up at Halloran. Inside he goes, and a tight touch perhaps from Pearman. Fans singing for the home side. Hoping for an equaliser. Osler. Long ball from deep. Patrick Wood trying to make an impact off the bench. He's knocked over Ability and he's lost his own footing. And the end result is a corner kick. There's the shed down at the other end of the pitch. It's the one that Glory are attacking. Ruben Zatkovich not happy with the corner call. Wood might have fouled Ability before the ball went out. Big defensive stand here for the Raw as we tick up to 10 minutes to go. Pearman's corner. And Murder with the header. But ultimately it's a comfortable save for Matt Acton.
There's good delivery from Pearman. Murder rose highest and strongest.
Now he has to rise for another header down in defence. Hasn't scored in 4.5 years. Tas Mutakutis, he was wearing the red and black of Western Sydney Wanderers when he did. Ultimately not able to really test the goalkeeper. David Strelic is his double sub going to have the desired impact. There's going to be a yellow card for time wasting here for Keegan Jelicic. Takes the yellow with no protest. Shallow pass back to Murchler, so he has to go back to his keeper, Ollie Sale. Confirmation of the booking for Keegan Jelicic. Trying to put one over his former team, the Perth Glory, who are in possession here with Murchler. Pennington. Harrington rises to the header. Berenguer, shallow. Deflects off Pennington. Glory have the ball. Pearman. Wales leads it. And Asmo. Joel Asmo looked up at one Raw defender too many. Osler. Pennington. And headed away by Ability. Klein keeps it moving. Back in it comes. Taggart on the turn. It's out for a corner.
They're starting to huff and puff the home side, aren't they? Can they? Will they blow the house down and get themselves back in this game?
Corner taken short, swung in, Ability with the header away. And now the volley from Osler. And he slices it well wide in the end.
What we said earlier, that Perth Glory need to keep their head and show strong leadership. It's now Brisbane Roar as they hold on to this lead. 8 minutes plus injury time remaining.
Jesse Rybelt looks at the watch, but Matt Acton's going to milk every second until he sees that yellow ticket come out of the pocket. And it's not on this occasion, so he'll take us up to the 83-minute mark. Brisbane trying to make the clock their friend. Jacob Brissett has taken off the jacket, so he might be the next sub to come on and provide a bit of stretch of the game on the counter-attack. Halloran. Able to dig the ball out, but not much more than that. Ollie Sale goes for distance. Burke Gilroy. Halloran into midfield. Jelicic. Jay O'Shea. Zavala. Burke Gilroy. Good run by Jelicic. Stops the ball and tries to twist it back into the box. Burke Gilroy. And Anasmo puts the ball out for a throw.
Well, I think Jelicic has to do better there. Not for the first time in this game. He's got himself into a really good area. That final execution, that final pass has let him down. You know the ability that he's got. We saw it in a purple shirt. This very ground many times before he made the move.
Third goal now for Brisbane, and it'll be the knockout blow. Perth trying to defend, and they're going to have a free kick to emerge from their defensive half. Jelicic has got to be a little bit careful because he's on a card now. And that was for time wasting already. Shouts from the sideline, a bit of urgency about the Glory's play required. Pennington slaloming through. Anasmo, and now Osler. Anasmo will step out of trouble. Wood trying to return the ball to Anasmo, but Billity had him covered. O'Shea, the veteran presence. And now Zavala. Pennington. Glory hugging the line. Osler. Pennington. Here's the Paramount Plus player index. The match-winning goal scorer, Sam Klein, top of the pile. And you see the other goal scorers there following him. We will check back in on the Paramount Plus player index as part of the post-game show. Pivot. Ball there to be won. It's over the head of two. Anasmo back in. Manatina slip sliding out of the way. Pierman. Ludakudis. Lucky Wales. Who is going to produce the killer pass for the Perth Glory? Pierman sends it out to the right. Osler. We've seen him crossing from this flank all through the second half. But he's going to hold fire here. Ludakudis to Pennington. And the Raw win possession back. Only briefly. Ludakudis. Klein trying to burst through. Burke Gilroy. And the whistle goes in Brisbane's favour. And a yellow card as well.
I think the yellow card's for Anthony Burke Gilroy.
It is Taggart who's been booked, so... Confusion reigning at the moment.
Certainly he's up here in the commentary box as well. Casey Rybelt just going to the assistant referee. A quick chat here.
Yeah, so the yellow card is shown at Adam Taggart. I think the confusion was that when the referee showed the yellow card, Adam Taggart had already left the scene. And I think Brisbane Raw maybe rightfully just saying, hang on, you've shown it at one of our players, not one of theirs.
Well, that's what threw me as well. That's why I called it on Anthony Burke-Gilroy, because he was the one that was shown the yellow card. Anyway,
all that has served to do is waste time off the clock here for the Perth Glory. They're the ones chasing the game. There are now 2 minutes of regulation to go. The Brisbane Roar have the ball in possession and down at their attacking end. But they're not going to the corner. Berenguer using his strength. Holding off Mutakunis. Halloran, Klein, Zabala. And now Jelicic dancing on the ball. Wheels away. Zabala keeps it moving. Jay O'Shea. Klein, one already tonight. Does he go for it? Brilliant goal for Sam Klein! The best night of his A-League career so far! And a double that will deliver a priceless win for the Brisbane Roar.
What a brilliantly executed goal by Sam Klein. It opened up like the Red Sea on the edge of the Perth Glory area. As Jay O'Shea plays him in on the Harvey Norman replay, and look at that, he looks up, he sees the space, he thinks this is my chance to get a double on the night. Eyes off the far post and gives Ollie Sale absolutely no chance. Wonderful goal, Brisbane Roar, wonderful goal, Sam Klein.
He will never forget his 21st birthday. He has had the best possible present. His first 2 A-League goals. And it's not just happy birthday, Sam Klein. It's going to feel like happy birthday for everyone who has stuck with the Brisbane Roar through this season. They make the number of minutes in stoppage time a moot point. And Ollie Sale can only ruefully shake his head as Perth Glory contemplate the reality that they are sinking back to the bottom of the Isuzu UTE A-League. And the Brisbane Roar, it's worth remembering, also have 2 games in hand on Perth. So as we tick into 4 minutes of additional time, it's going to be a bit of a funereal end to this game for the Glory. Brisbane Roar, they're up and running, walking on air at the moment. Jelicic.
So the one you really feel sorry for is Luke Amos, scoring a goal like he did to give his side the lead early in this game. It's been one of the goals of his career, no doubt. It's going to be on the losing end tonight. But take nothing away from Brisbane Roar. They really had to weather a storm in that first half. Perth Glory came out strong. Brisbane gave as good as they got, but they had to weather the storm as well. Now it looks like they are set for a huge, huge 3 points in the West.
It's going to be the first time that they've won away in Perth in 3 years. First time they've won at all in the A-League for almost 2 months. Taggart. And now Pennington. The Glory score here. They can make it nervous for 2 more minutes. Pennington. And headed behind by Billity. And that's one thing that stood out tonight, Mossy, the aerial defence of the Brisbane Roar.
Yeah, that's right. They've been good. Billity and young Harrington, they've really done their job well.
Whether they've travelled across the country or whether they're Roar fans living in Perth, they won't forget tonight in a hurry. Oh, and at close range, Lachie Wales has nodded over the bar, and that could have been 3-2 and a very nervous final 2 minutes of the game. Matt Acton perhaps right to admonish his defence.
Well, once again, we've spoken about the number of goals that Perth Glory have conceded this season, and that goal difference.
Well, this moment's been coming. Matt Acton, even with a 2-goal buffer, has been yellow carded for time wasting.
I think he'll gratefully accept that. Matt Acton, if it's chewed up a few moments for his side. But again, Perth Glory conceding 3 goals at home.
There might be more pain on the way. Manatitas hurdles a challenge, lifts it across. And it was Berenguer who rose for the header, even though Jelicic was waiting at the far post. Totally unmarked. There's going to be a sub here, and Jacob Brissett's gone and put the spray jacket back on because it's Walid Shaw who is coming on, and Sam Klein is going to get a bit of a moment of acknowledgement here to come to the bench and get solo congratulations for what has been an unforgettable night for him. His first 2 A-League goals on the day he turned 21. And look at the delight on the face of Chris Coyne as he makes his way to the sideline.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Sam Klein. Obviously the 2 goals speak for themselves, but his overall performance in midfield, not easy to go to Perth and play a really influential role in midfield, particularly for a player of his young age. A special night for him.
The final seconds of stoppage time expire. Brisbane Roar are moving off the foot of the A-League table with just a 2nd win of the campaign. Enjoy it, Roar fans. Brisbane Roar get a win. Almost 2 months of waiting since their first, and just their 2nd of the campaign. It's been 19 games of struggle, but on a night like tonight, the struggle feels that little bit more worth it. Sam Klein's double and a breakthrough goal for Asuma Abubakar have cancelled out the opening goal, which was a ripper from Luke Amos. And Perth Glory are left to contemplate their scenario, which is after 21 games this season, they sit bottom of the league with 48 goals conceded. All over at HBF Park, Perth Glory 1, Brisbane Roar 3. Phil Moss, we expected desperation, we expected a night of entertainment. We certainly got it.
Yeah, we did. It was a good game to watch, easy on the eye, and Brisbane Roar, they can hold their heads high, put their chest out tonight, shoulders back, because that's a wonderful performance and result away in the West. And it's never easy to go there, but when you're trying to avoid that wooden spoon, they've got the job done tonight.
Let's take a look at the Alex Tobin medal points as you have assigned them tonight. Phil, talk us through your 3-2-1.
Well, I think Sam Klein speaks for himself. 2 goals and a very good performance in midfield. I thought Harrington was fantastic at the back. He didn't put a foot wrong all night. He was quite dominant in the air. And Abu Bakar, he was very positive with the ball. He was good for Brisbane Roar in that top third. Got his goal, of course, and was central to connecting between defence and attack as well.
And our player of the match, our Isuzu UTE player of the match, is Sam Klein, and he joins us now. Sam, congratulations, you've gone west and you've played a big, big role in a win. How good does that feel?
Oh, honestly, we're delighted. Obviously, we haven't picked up many wins this season, but we've had some very strong performances, and to get my first goal